Right.
Right, welcome to the Euro podcast with my co-host, Martin. How are you, Martin?
Yeah, fine, mate. From sunny Norfolk.
From sunny Norfolk. And how are you, Gary?
Yeah, I'm good. Good. Not long in from work, but good.
Okay, so very happy people at the moment, I'm guessing.
I was impressed.
A 2-0 victory for England against the Germans. I must admit, Thomas Muller missed the absolute sitter. But sometimes a team that's going to win this tournament, I'm not saying we're going to win the tournament, but sometimes a team needs to ride their luck.
That's true, yeah. Well, and we did ride our luck on occasions in that game, but I was impressed. It was like having a Ferrari where you can't take the handbrake off. Tonight, we had a Ferrari and he let the handbrake off and off we went. That's how I looked at it. He let the players express themselves far more than the previous couple of games.
Yeah.
And we cut out all this backward side. I know they nearly scored through a mistake, a backward pass again from Sterling, which could have, Muller should have scored the way he's a goal scorer.
Without a doubt, yeah.
But no, I was really impressed. I thought he let the players come out. And I just listened to the Jack Grealish and Harry Kane and all them being interviewed and Harry Maguire. And he said in the dressing room, and I listened to Declan Rice, and he said that the manager told him, go out and express yourself. Where in the previous 3 games, we hadn't really. But today, we were, as I say, like Ferrari, someone let the handbrake off and off we went. Cut out all the crap, all the backward, sideways, more positive. At times, we were more positive than the Germans. We beat them at their own game. I was really impressed.
Yeah.
Really impressed tonight. Please.
Okay, Gary. So you've just told me that you only watched the last half an hour, which is tantamount to treason, Gary. Harry.
Listen. How many times? And I put this definitely to both of you, really, but more to Martin. How many times over the past, God knows how many years, have we thrown things at tellies or got the hump in the pub because we got beat by the Germans? So, look, they don't matter what your feelings are about anything. It's just brilliant to at long last, after all these bloody years, to beat the Germans. I just want to have. Our last few podcasts have been quite moany. I've got to have one moan, or I won't be happy. And that is, what the fuck was 5 o'clock all about? People like me, nothing I could do. I couldn't, and I just, there must have been thousands of people. I don't understand. Sorry to moan on this joyous occasion, which I am happy.
Yeah, no, we'll give you the moan.
It's supposed to be an entertainment, so put it when people can watch it.
I'll give you that, Gary.
Thousands and thousands of people that would not have been able to watch that, or were sat at work with their phones on, or like radio. Me in the van with the radio on. I just I can't understand why they could. And someone said to me, it's quite interesting. Ukraine, when they play at 8 o'clock tonight, that's 10 o'clock their time.
Right.
So surely, for the sake of entertainment, it can't be down to the TV companies, because I would, unless there's somewhere else in the world they thought they'd get a bigger audience, but it can't be down to TV, because they probably lost thousands of viewers through the fact that people had to be at work.
Okay, well, I've let you have your moan, and I'm not going to...
Anyway, there you go.
Bring down my joyous occasion of England.
So anyway, no, listen, I wouldn't be the same if I didn't have one moan. You know what I mean?
Gary Harris.
So I've had me moan.
That's right,
very difficult.
I'm going to talk about the England players, from the goalkeeper straight through to the forwards. Talking about Pickford, I've said in previous podcasts that I've rated Pickford. Martin, I have to pull you up. You said in previous podcasts, well, they ain't had much to do, is he? But what he has had to do, he's done it superbly. And the saves he made tonight were top class. He kept us in it.
They all raised their game up. But let me just make a quick point, which I was thinking about. I did watch the whole of the game. And as you know, I'm not the biggest England fan. It bores me shitless. But tonight I was pleased for the team because they cut out all the crap, as I said. But do you think we won today because there's so many of that German team, the substitutes come on, have played in the Premiership. There was about 5 or 6, 7 players in their squad, or maybe more in the whole squad of the Germans, who've actually played in the Premiership. And do you think because we've got to know how they play through the individual players, that helped us beat them tonight? I'll just throw that out.
So, Martin, I think when that young lad came on, the sub that's in the Chelsea team, I got a little bit worried because I thought, hang on, they're making moves here. Because normally watching England isn't that smooth.
No.
Normally.
But I just think, we've got to know how they play now. We've got nothing to... Them players, the England players went out today with no fear. Because to me, they must know how the Germans play. They know their mentality. They know how they like with the ball played to them. I mean, they knew how Werner was quick, so they covered that. And I just think that was half the battle today because in previous years, we've known nothing about the Germans, only seen them in tournaments and what we see in the Bundesliga on Sky or BT. So we know them inside out now. We know their game. You've got Sani coming on, the other young lad who come on, who's played for the England under-21s now. He plays for the German.
Right. Yeah.
And I just think we know their game inside out. And so that was half the battle. We got nothing to fear from them. They're only 11 players against 11. And we beat them in all departments. Although they had chances to score and look dangerous, they ain't the Germans of the past, are they?
No, they're not. No, I would admit that. They're not the Germans of the past. I mean, Phillips in midfield, and I've made a note, he had a really good game and he won a lot of tackles.
Yeah, he was
brilliant. Of attacks down.
I've been critical of Declan Rice in the past because my club, he was at Chelsea as a kid. We let him go at 14, 15. And I've always been critical of him as a £100 million player, £80 million player, West Ham. I could never see it. But tonight, he shone. He ran the midfield. He cut everything out. He tackled. He wore his heart on his sleeve today. And fair play to him. He done really well tonight, Declan Rice. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I just thought he done really well tonight. He proved his... And the young Leeds kid as well. I thought he done well. It was Phillips.
Yeah.
I thought he done... All the team was... even Harry Kane. Yeah. They played to his strengths. They put the ball across, came in the box. He was on the end of it. That's probably the first cross in the whole 4 games he's been on the end of. But no, I thought, all in all, every single player to a man played really well, and I'm proud. Please.
I'll talk to you, Gary. You've kind of championed Grealish. When the man came on, he kind of turned things. To be fair,
look, I think he's earned his start in that quarter-final, or is it a piece of magic on behalf of Mr. Southgate bringing him on as a sub? I don't know, but he had a big hand in both goals.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, big hand in both goals. He started the move off that got the first goal and contributed in further on in that move. Like I say, I mean, from day one, I've said I'm not his biggest fan, but I do think if there's someone that in the England squad capable of lighting up, becoming a Paul Gascoigne or David Beckham of England, then potentially he's that person. I have to say though, I mean, Sterling played well. Yeah. We've been critical of him in the last 2 games, but he proved his worth tonight, I think.
Yeah.
You just mentioned a point that I was going to bring up, Gary, and also to you, Martin, is that Grealish, should he start or is he better coming on as a sub late into the game with the last 20 minutes left? What's your point of view, Martin?
I think he's an impact player, isn't he, at the moment?
Yeah,
he can make things happen. Yeah. As Gary just said, he's the new sort of Paul Gascoigne. He's the only England player who I can see who can drift past people, take 2 or 3 people on, make things happen. He lifts the crowd, whether you hate him or love him. He can lift the crowd. and he knows that. He knows what he can do. He's a bit of a maverick sort of player. He's a sort of a flashback to the 70s, 80s style of players. He's the modern day sort of George Best, Rodney Marsh, Stan Bowles. He's that Charlie Cook. He's that sort of player.
He runs, as Gary said, doesn't he?
Yeah, I love him. I'd love him at Chelsea. I'd give 100 million for him. I think he's a great player. You don't think so?
What's your views, Gary?
No, I'm just going to say what Martin's just saying there. Look, I think I said this in a previous podcast. We when we were in the Premier League last time, we lost 2-1 up at Villa Park, and we were playing Jack Grealish. We weren't playing Aston Villa. That man dominated. He dominated everything that went on the field. He's that sort of player. Like we said before, the good thing about Villa, in the respect that they've brought in some quality players that has taken pressure off Grealish. But like I say, my experience of watching him live was he totally dominated the field. He can do that. So yeah.
Okay.
But if he went to a bigger club, Gary and Matt, at Villa, he's a big fish in a small pond. No disrespect to Villa.
Of course.
But if he come to Chelsea, would he be as big as an attraction, as big as a draw? Could he keep his form up? Could he be that type of player if he went to Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea?
Yeah.
I don't know, but I would take a chance.
In the pudding, Martin.
Exactly. But I would take a chance. As a Chelsea fan, I'd love him at Chelsea.
You would take a chance on him.
Oh, 100%. I think he's got a great personality.
We've mentioned Sterling already, our top scorer. Played well tonight. Again, I'll ask you first, Martin. How do you feel about Sterling's performance?
I don't rate him. Honestly, I'm not being controversial.
No,
I just can't see. Can't see what he runs around to me. I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. Liverpool got recruited. He went from QPR to Liverpool. And Liverpool sold it to Man City for silly 50 million at the time. And the Scousers accused him of being a greedy bastard, doing it for money. I can't see what... Now, now and again, he'll have a good game out of 10. He's been shit this season at Man City. He played reasonably well. I think people are going a bit overboard on his performance tonight. He did. Right. He scored the goal. But I don't rate him. And that back pass he done, there's a prime example. He's prone to doing silly things.
Thomas Müller scored. Yeah.
Yeah, but as well. I mean, he scored a couple of goals. He's a top scorer, but that shows you how bad the rest of the forwards are. But to me, I don't rate him. I wouldn't want him at Chelsea. I think he's a bit of a liability himself. Anyway, but there you go. Other people love him. But
what's your views on Sterling, Gary?
Well, I mean, look. At the end of the day, I've been really critical. Well, we all have of him. Didn't think he should even stayed on the pitch in the last couple of games.
No.
But I think he done enough today, in my eyes, to be on the pitch. But like that, he's all right. He scores goals. We don't score many, and he's scored all three. Well, obviously we've got 4 now. Last 2 games I've not been impressed whatsoever with him, and didn't think he was worth it. But tonight, credit where it's due. He played a lot better.
He did.
Hit and miss is maybe what we're saying, Martin. Is it? Do you think he's a hit and miss?
I just think he's very overrated for what he is. I can't see how everyone's going mad about him because he scored a goal. That's what he's there for, and he's a forward. That's what he's in the team. All the players in the team, except the goalkeeper, to score. Yeah, but I just think he's an overrated player myself. I don't see that there's no end product sometimes to him. He run around like a headless chicken and nothing happens. That's my view.
I must admit, I listened to it on the radio, and it's very difficult, I must say, getting a clear picture to answer questions when you're listening on the radio. What people
of course, Gary, I understand that. Yeah.
The last half an hour, I'd listen on the radio, then I came in, and until that first goal, I must admit, I'm thinking to myself, we ain't got any goals in this team.
No, I thought that, Gary. Yeah.
but they'd come out, and like I say, I don't want to take the sheen off of what's happened tonight. How many times, countless times have I had the right puppy on because the Germans beat us?
Yeah.
Well, if you're old enough to remember Italian 90 and before...
And 90 was a gutter, wasn't it? I mean, because we had the potential of a World Cup final.
I think if we'd have beat the Germans, we may have gone on to win it, but we'll never ever know. Okay, gentlemen, I'll just talk about Harry Kane. He got his goal tonight, but his performance and the performances up until this game, I just think that the England team doesn't fit in. What do you think, Martin?
Well, we've discussed this on the last couple of podcasts and on our radio shows with Gary.
Yeah.
And I just think they're not playing. Well, a couple of things. One, they're not sent to be. It proved it. Grealish putting across. He was on the end of it.
Boom. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what they do. You've got to feed Harry Kane. You've got to play the ball up, and he holds it up, brings others in. And that's what we said on the last podcast. They're not playing it with strength. But is he carrying in? He looks slow and disinterested. And is he got an injury? Is he pissed off with life at Tottenham and wants a transfer?
I think you're right, Martin. I think there's just something not right with Kane. What do you think, Gary? What's your views on Harry Kane?
I genuinely don't think. I think there's better players out there that could have been in that side tonight than Harry Kane on the performance that I see.
Even though he scored, apart from that, he didn't do much, did he?
Yeah,
Nothing. Done fuck all.
Look, do you know what? I mean, yeah, you've got to. I mean, he scored, but the hard work was done by other people.
Yes.
Same with Sterling's goals. The hard work. If we don't create the opportunity, I know people say, yeah, but you've got to be good enough to take the opportunity, which he did tonight with that header. He scored a goal. I still think on the performance I see, there are better players that could have been playing up front.
He should be on the bench, and I absolutely agree with you, Gary.
I'll tell you who I'd give a run out to is that Calvin Lewin, the Everton boy. He's quick. He can hold he's more mobile than Harry Kane.
Yeah.
He's quick.
I mean, they talk about Harry Kane is the talisman and stuff, but it's just like you said. There's no. He's not moving, is he? There's no. Like I think what you just said, Gary, that the hard work was done by other people, and he's there to finish it off. But is that his job?
Well, you've got. I think at that level, you could say that maybe but at that level, at international level, playing for England, as it's all right having 1 minute of glory heading the ball in the back of the net, but there are 90 minutes.
So you've got
and at that level, my view is that he should be contributing to the whole game. Yeah. And that's what didn't seem to be occurring. I think in the first half he'd had 2 touches or something.
Yeah.
I listened to well, you're right, Gary. I listened to the commentary team on there tonight, and they were saying one of Harry Kane's strengths, besides holding the ball up, he's got a really powerful shot. He can whack a ball 30, 35 yards. And they were saying he's not had one shot at goal in this tournament. In 4 games, he's not had a single shot on the goal.
One, I think.
Is it one? Well, they were saying he hadn't had none. Anyway, but that's his trademark. He can whack a ball like nobody. He's probably the best striker of a ball we've got in the Premier League and in the England team. But he's not done it, maybe you say once. But that's his trademark, and he ain't doing it. And he looks disinterested. He looks worn out. He looks
something's not right.
Out.
Yeah.
No, so he's. I think he's laying on the beach in the Maldives somewhere. It's not. Yeah. His head ain't at this tournament.
His head's on his holiday.
Yeah, he's in the Maldives, laying on the beach, isn't he? Reading one of my books. But no, he's not.
Yeah. Right, I'm going to turn because I know that Martin, you're very critical. I'm going to turn to the gaffer now, Mr. Southgate, that would have took a lot of pleasure out of the victory tonight because of the the 2006 Euros when he missed the penalty.
Yeah.
So he would have loved that victory more than anyone tonight. And up and down the country, he's going to be, he's the gaffer, he's the messiah, he won 2-0 over the Germans. But do you still think he's the man for the job, Martin?
No.
No. Sorry, go on.
No, I don't think he is. I think there's far better people out there, far better credentials to be the England manager or the England coach than Gareth Southgate. As me, Gary, and you have all said, and we've all agreed, he's a bit of a yes man. And is he just being told what to do? Because I don't, wherever he's been, he's fucked up. Middlesbrough, and wherever he's been a manager, he's never been a success.
No,
so he was appointed.
No, he ain't. No. Right.
Well, he ain't, is he? Everywhere he goes, he fucks up. So, listen, is he a yes man? Is he being told, again, we're going back to the thing with other clubs, is he being told tactics, who to pick, what to do? And he deserves his 2 minutes of fame, but it could all blow up in his face on Saturday night. Because he ain't
you're only as good as the
You're only as good as your last victory.
You're only as good as your
last victory.
I was just about to say,
carry on Southgate.
Well, I mean, I've been very critical, but I'm not going to knock him for tonight because he's beaten Germans. However, he's now in a big position where I don't think, even in my lifetime, Martin, I'm sure you'll agree, when you look at that draw, the run into that final, if we don't get to that final, then he ain't the man for the job. So he's now in this position. He's got 2 games to get us to that final.
Yep.
It's you're either going to play Sweden or Ukraine. Yeah. And I'm not knocking anyone in this tournament because I've got to eat a bit of humble pie because I called Croatia and the Czech Republic mediocre. They've actually done really well. I mean, the game against Spain the other night, wow. I mean, well done, all right. Spain deservedly won it in the end, but fair play to Croatia. And Czech Republic knock out Holland. And they're now in the quarterfinals. So I will eat a bit of humble pie on that. However, you know, we either play Ukraine or Sweden Saturday night. Then in the semi-final, you've either got the Czech Republic or Denmark. If he doesn't get us to the final, he's now in this position that if we're not in that final, he shouldn't be the England manager.
Yeah, good segue into what talk about next, Gary, and you sort of jumped the mark. England's next opponents. Obviously, tonight was our World Cup final in many ways, wasn't it? You know, it was the Germans. No?
Beating the Germans one thing, it weren't our World Cup final.
Do you not think so? I think that when Scotland played England, it was their World Cup final. And I think tonight, playing the Germans was our most important game.
It was our most important game up till now.
Oh, but of course.
We get to the next game's more important. The game after that, you know, it's always...
But come on, we beat the Germans 2-0.
Sorry.
You know,
don't get me wrong. I don't want to take away the sheen of beating the Germans.
Yeah.
You know, it's our next opponents. I haven't really watched much of Sweden and the Ukraine, but if we get through Saturday, and I've just got a feeling Denmark. I've got this feeling about the last time there was a real bit of romance in the Euros was when Denmark took over from Croatia because of the Baltic War kicking off, and they won it. They weren't supposed to be there, and they won it. Ericsson has an heart attack on the pitch. There's just something romantic about them winning it, and that worries me a little bit, actually. They're the ones I'm worried about. And also, mate, they smashed Wales off the park, didn't they?
Yes, definitely, yeah.
They really are.
Gareth Bale in the side, that's hard to do.
So
you look at the stats we got against Sweden, though. They got an Indian sign over us. They've always done well against England.
They have,
Sweden.
100%
they
right.
Ain't no mugs.
I've been to a few games where we've played Sweden and we've not
they're like Scotland. They will raise they will raise their game against us if we get Sweden.
We always struggle against Sweden.
We always struggle. You know, that geezer, what's it the centre forward who's about 48 now, playing in Italy still. Ibrahimovic, or what his name was.
Abramovich,
He scored that wonder goal against us. You remember a few years ago?
He did,
where the ball come in, he kicked it over his shoulder and it went in. You know, and Thomas Brodie, you was on about, who played for Leeds as well, had a great game again. They've always raised their game against us, the Swedes, and they've got no superstars now, but they're like a real work hard for one another team, you know? I mean, they die for one another.
I mean, Thomas Brolini, you mentioned, I mean, he ended up playing in goal towards the end of his career.